parent's instinct is to shield their child from all harm and to wish the best for them. However, there is a fine line between a parent cheering on their child from the sidelines and completely taking over their child's life. Helicopter parenting is a parenting style in which a parent attempts to monitor and dictate every aspect of a child's life, whether it comes down to friendships, education, and future careers. A helicopter parent will refuse to acknowledge their child's growing independence as he or she gets older. Even with the intention to help their kids, a helicopter parent cripples their child in the long run, leaving them with undeveloped life skills and coping skills and a decreased sense of self-esteem. Today, I'll be speaking about the consequences of helicopter parenting. I'll be touching on how helicopter parenting can contribute to a decreased sense of self-esteem and underdeveloped life skills and coping skills. Firstly, in July of 2019, C.S. Mott's Children's Hospital poll on children's health asked a national sample of teenagers from 14 to 18 years old, from parents of teenagers from 14 to 18 years old about their efforts to guide their children towards independence. The outcome of this Mott poll suggested that parents might be overestimating their efforts to support their teens' independence. Even though about 87% of parents agreed that their child is being properly prepared for adulthood, parents gave relatively low ratings of their teens' ability to handle basic tasks, such as keeping up with school assignments and taking the correct dose of medicine. 1 in 4 parents admit that they are the main barrier between their teenager and independence. Ultimately, taking over tasks that a child is physically and mentally capable of doing on their own creates adults who are unprepared for adulthood. An equally important life skill that overparented children often miss out on is the ability to cope with disappointments and failures healthily. Although a parent might believe that it is protecting a child when they prevent failure, the truth is actually the opposite. As Robert Brooks, co-author of Raising Resilient Children, says, when children learn at an early age that they have the tools to get over a disappointing situation, to shield, they'll be able to rely on that throughout childhood and even adulthood. If you bend over backwards trying to shield them from disappointments, you're keeping them from developing some important skills. Disappointments, whether they are of significance or not, are inevitable. A person who has been shielded from disappointments during childhood will not know how to react to these setbacks as adults. In addition, an overparented child is more likely to have poor self-esteem because when a parent is hovering over their child, it gives that kid the impression that they are not capable of independence. For example, psychologists at Florida State University surveyed almost 500 undergraduates and discovered that the students that had helicopter parents were overall less confident, performed worse in exams, and struggled with decision-making and leadership skills. A similar experiment at Miami University found interchangeable results. The parents of these students, helicopter parents, likely believed that what they did was best for their children by keeping them safe from adversities. But knowing how to face challenges is what makes a person confident, a confident, independent adult. From an opposing stance, children who have helicopter parents receive plenty of guidance and support. Helicopter parents are hyperactive in their kid's life and participate in many activities alongside their child. Parents will also be hyper aware of their children's academic life, meaning that a parent can step in if a child is being bullied or their grades are dropping. However, if a parent is constantly advocating for their child, then that child will never be able to advocate for themselves. For instance, how is an extremely passive person going to be able to stand up to a difficult boss or ask for help on an assignment in college? Also, as that child becomes a teenager, their dependency on their parents lessens. If a helicopter parent is refusing to acknowledge this, their dependency on their refuses to acknowledge this and continues to treat them as a small child, then it is completely likely that the teenager will rebel against their parents. In conclusion, there's a fragile line between making a child feel safe, loved, and happy, and completely taking control over their life. In the case of helicopter parenting, the downfalls outweigh the positives. By hovering over their kid constantly, a parent is taking away their privacy and independence, and the child is more likely to experience anxiety and low self-esteem at an early age. Ultimately, helicopter parenting is like a child trying to spread their wings in a shrinking box.